The movie opens in Los Angeles, where Emily, a young aspiring artist, dreams of one day traveling to South America. Unfortunately, her luck is running low due to a criminal record that prevents her from landing a well-paying job to manage her college debt and living expenses. During a job interview, the interviewer unexpectedly probes into her criminal past. Emily attempts to deflect by claiming a DUI, but the interviewer reveals a background check has already exposed her lie. Feeling violated and humiliated, Emily storms out of the interview. Now, Emily continues to work as a private contractor for a catering company, a job that barely allows her to scrape by financially. This struggle only adds to the burden of her ongoing challenges, keeping her dreams and aspirations just out of reach. One day, Emily covers a shift for a coworker so he can take his son to a game. In gratitude, he connects her with a contact for a dummy shopper service, which involves purchasing items anonymously to hide the identity of the buyer. Intrigued by the prospect, especially when her coworker mentions the job pays $200 an hour, Emily decides to pursue the opportunity. That evening, she texts the contact provided by her coworker Javier, receives an address and a time for a meeting, and then heads out to a bar to meet an old college friend. At the bar, Emily discusses her financial troubles with her friend Liz, mentioning she might need to move in with her stepdad to save money. Liz, wanting to help, offers to speak to her boss to vouch for Emily in hopes of securing her a better job. After their conversation, they spend the rest of the evening drinking and getting high. Later, Emily heads to the address given for the dummy shopper job, only to discover that the service is actually a front for a credit card fraud ring. The operation is run by two men, Khalil, who creates false identity documents, and Youssef, who manages the dummy shoppers. Youssef explains to the recruits that their role is simply to make purchases with stolen credit cards, for which they will be paid $200 each. He openly acknowledges the illegality of their actions and gives anyone having second thoughts the option to leave immediately. After hearing Youssef's proposal, Emily is initially hesitant, deeming the risk too high, and stands to leave. However, Youssef persuades her to try it just once. Emily's first task is to buy a plasma TV using a stolen credit card and a fake ID. Despite her reservations, she proceeds, and to her surprise, the purchase is completed without any issues. Encouraged by this success, she agrees to take on a more challenging job, purchasing a car with a no-limit credit card, for which Youssef promises her a $2,000 payout. The following day, while working with Javier, they experience a minor setback when the food they are delivering spills. While cleaning up, Emily receives a call from her friend Liz, who informs her that her company isn't hiring after all, dashing Emily's hopes for a legitimate job opportunity. Emily questions whether Liz even spoke to her boss, which offends Liz and leads to a strained end to their conversation. Later, in the bathroom cleaning up, Emily pulls out the phone Youssef gave her and considers texting him, but decides against it and throws the phone in the bin. However, just as she starts to walk away, she hesitates and looks back. A message alert then sounds from the discarded phone. The message from Youssef asks if she is ready to proceed with the job. Emily tells Javier to finish the shift without her and heads off to commit fully to the risky job arranged by Youssef. Upon arrival, Youssef hands Emily the credit card and several documents, explaining that she has 8 minutes to leave the building with the purchased car once the transaction is processed to avoid getting caught. Emily, still uncertain, questions the safety of the operation. Youssef bluntly admits that there's no guarantee of safety and tells her she's free to walk away if she's uncomfortable. Despite her doubts, Emily decides to proceed and walks into the dealership. Inside, she meets with the salesman and completes the car purchase, nervously watching the clock as he swipes the card and scrutinizes her ID and documents. Just as she's about to leave, the salesman hands her a form to fill out, delaying her further. After showing her the car, he suddenly asks her to come back inside to clarify a missed detail. When Emily hesitates, the man becomes aggressive, and she narrowly escapes unharmed. Traumatized and with a bloody face, she confronts Youssef outside, who is shocked by her appearance. Visibly shaken, Emily collects her payment from Youssef and starts to walk away, but soon breaks down. Youssef follows her and offers a ride home, where he also helps tend to her wounds with ice. As they talk, Youssef discovers Emily's sketches and opens up about his aspirations to invest in rental property using the profits from their fraudulent activities. Curious about the earning potential, Emily asks Youssef how much one could make doing what he does. Intrigued by the possibility, she requests to learn the ropes. Youssef agrees to show her how everything operates. The following day, Emily's boss confronts her about missing work. She apologizes, claiming it was an emergency, but her boss reduces her hours anyway, sparking an argument between them. Youssef then takes Emily to a warehouse, where he teaches her how to create fake credit cards. He also provides her with a taser for protection and advises against selling stolen goods from her home or scamming the same location twice in 1 week. That evening, Emily begins making fake cards at home and successfully carries out scams, quickly becoming proficient and earning a substantial amount of money. Meanwhile, she continues her catering job, and her friend Liz, who is traveling to Portugal, asks Emily to dog-sit her dog and apologizes for not yet securing her a job, promising to arrange something soon. One day, Emily visits Youssef, who is impressed with her progress and offers to provide her with credit card numbers that have higher limits for bigger purchases. During their meeting, Khalil enters and inquires about their discussion. Youssef covers for Emily, lying about her involvement in their fraud operation to keep Khalil in the dark. One evening, after making a sale, Emily is followed home by one of her buyers who breaks into her house. They restrain her, rob her of her earnings, and also take Liz's dog. After they leave, Emily quickly recovers, chases them down with her taser, retrieves her money, and rescues the dog, firmly deciding she will no longer tolerate being victimized. A few days later, Emily attends a party at Liz's house where she returns the dog. At the party, Liz informs Emily about a job opening and secures her an interview with her boss, Alice. Emily also invites Youssef to the party, who offers to pose as her boyfriend. The two soon start dating. During lunch at Youssef's place, everyone enjoys themselves until Khalil exposes that Emily was caught visiting the same store twice in 1 week, leading to her being recorded on security footage. This revelation sparks a rift, and Khalil ejects Youssef from their fraud ring. Emily goes to her interview with Alice, which initially goes well until Alice reveals the job is an unpaid internship for the first 5 to 6 months. Frustrated by the lack of pay while burdened with debt, Emily confronts Alice, who derogatorily calls her spoiled. Emily retorts that at least Alice had a paying job, leading to a heated argument and Emily storming out. Later, Youssef confides in Emily that Khalil last paid him several months ago, adding to the tension of their situation. Youssef plans to purchase rental property, but needs an immediate down payment, prompting him to consider robbing the fraud ring. Following her interview, Emily and Youssef visit the ring's storage unit only to discover that Khalil has cleared out everything, including their business bank account. In frustration, Youssef lashes out at Emily, blaming her for the loss because she repeatedly scammed the same store. Emily counters, arguing that Khalil had been planning to betray Youssef, regardless due to Youssef's failure to stand up to him. She insists they need to confront Khalil directly, although Youssef is wary of the risks. Despite Youssef's hesitation, Emily persuades him that they must take action, convincing him that they are just as formidable as Khalil. Driven by the need to reclaim control, they plan to ambush Khalil at his safe house. Emily, posing as a delivery person, tasers the man who answers the door, and they lock him in their car's trunk. They then sneak in, tricking Khalil's other guards into leaving the house by sending misleading texts from the subdued man's phone. However, when they reach Khalil's location, he is initially missing. As Emily and Youssef split up to search, Emily finds Khalil has ambushed Youssef, leaving him unconscious. In the ensuing struggle, Khalil overpowers Emily, but she manages to grab a box cutter from her pocket and stabs him. With Khalil wounded and at her mercy, Emily demands to know where the money is. Khalil initially denies having any money in the house, but under the threat of having his throat slit, he reveals that the cash is hidden in the fridge. After retrieving the money, Emily assists an injured Youssef to their car. She asks for his keys, but they're lost amidst the chaos of the night. As police sirens wail in the background, Youssef's condition worsens, and he eventually loses consciousness. Overwhelmed with emotion, Emily decides to take the money and leave Youssef in the car. She walks to a nearby bus stop, cleans herself up, and resolves to move forward. Later, police raid Emily's apartment in the city, only to find it empty. Emily has made her way to South America alone and is seen embracing her new life, enjoying local sights, sketching, and swimming in the ocean. Eventually, she establishes herself in her new environment and begins recruiting people to work as dummy shoppers. In a scene mirroring her introduction to the criminal world, she briefs the recruits, emphasizing that the decision to engage in illegal activities is theirs to make. The movie concludes with Emily having taken control of her destiny.